Hey guys, I just got off a coaching call, and this guy is one of the MNC leaders, and he actually has a boss, and his boss was started to doing some things at work that he didn't really agree with. So let's just call him Jameis, right? So Jameis felt that he didn't want to actually tell the boss because they were actually quite close. They had a good understanding of each other, and what happened to Jameis was that he just started to just close up slowly but surely. And he could see it from the meetings that he has, from actually looking forward to the meeting and giving a lot of ideas and all that, to a point where after a while he saw himself actually closing up. And after a while, he saw himself not wanting to go to the meeting. So Jameis actually is like a lot of us, right? When we think about this idea of, oh, how do I tell him this? How do I tell my boss this? I don't agree with this, and it's causing me a lot of disappointment or irritation, or just there's some things that he's doing that just doesn't sit well. And I was just sharing that one of the things about human beings is that when we get very disappointed or we get very irritated with somebody else, especially somebody who you're close to or a friend and all that, the main thing is that you actually don't want to tell that person because maybe you think you are, maybe that person thinks you're oversensitive, or maybe it's too petty a thing. So what Jameis did was what actually a lot of people do. We kind of just shy away from the whole thing. We try to hope that hopefully one day that will change. And I was just sharing that this whole idea of if you're irritated or if you are affected, right, negatively affected by something that your colleague or even your boss does, after a while you are so affected that you become maybe irritated or annoyed, and then there's actually even deeper than that. Then you start to be a little bit bitter about it, to a point where if you can see that it actually grows, and after a while the whole idea is that seed that started off with annoyance or irritation, that person will keep doing it because he doesn't know, nobody told him, and after a while it becomes that seed of bitterness that will grow deeper and deeper, to a point where it will affect a lot of things at work, especially any projects that you have with that person. So when I was coaching Jameis, basically the main thing to do was to talk to that person. But a lot of us, that issue about talking to that person is the idea that I don't want to sour the relationship. It's already here and I don't want to bring it down. No matter what level it is, maybe it's a 7 upon 10, you don't want to bring it down to a 5. Or if it's a 5, even worse, you don't want to bring it down to a 3. But understand that they don't know that. They don't know that, and if you are really treating that person as not just like oh, I just want to tell him that, but if you're really treating that person as a friend, it is something that you must do. So as a friend, if you see your friend doing something that you know that maybe you don't agree with, maybe it's something that if only people tell him about it, then be that friend. So after the coaching and all that, then I actually sent Jameis a quote, and this quote is by Martin Luther King. And one of the things that Martin Luther King is famous for is the idea that he fights for the people who have no voice, and he's that voice. And he said this one thing, and it was like, it just hits the nail, right? In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. So when I found that quote, I felt that, hey, actually, I should send this to Jameis so that he really knows that it's really the idea that it's not enemies that you're trying to fight with, it's really friends that you're trying to build up. So one thing to think about is the idea that even for me, if I see something in my team member or even my partner that actually there's an issue, if I leave it to nature, it will grow. That seed of irritation will grow into that seed of bitterness and actually grow bad fruit into this whole idea of resentment. So in order to do this or cut this off, you need to share with that person, but share in a way that it is not that I tell you and that's it, but hey, actually I'm a friend, and as a friend I'm concerned, and because of that concern, I want to express this feedback. I want to express this point that maybe you know, maybe you don't know, but I think it will be good for you. So if there's something out there that you feel that, or someone out there you feel that you need to that just talk to, and you know that this thing just kind of floats above you every time you meet him or her, and you know that it's affecting the work, it's affecting your projects, it's affecting your performance, and go for it. And think of it as you are a friend telling another friend, because you would do this for your good friends, right? So what more if this is something that at work you can do so that this relationship will not only flourish, right? But it goes deeper, because now you are being able to be vulnerable and being able to be transparent with that person. And that builds layers and bridges, so that in the next time something like this will happen, which it always will, you have that bridge to cross it. So go there and talk to that person, and take 5 minutes and say that, hey, I want to just tell you something, and it's been weighing on my heart. And I do feel that I just need to let it go and share it with you. And I hope you really take this in a way that, as a friend, I want to tell you to another friend.